Talk to our leader carefully. I will knock your head.
Well, first of all, let's very quickly, it was just a 1 or 2 point agenda meeting. It was a 1 or 2 point agenda meeting. What's on the front and center right now in our discourse is the Electoral Amendment Law, which the President has not signed, and there are calls for us to veto same. Well, let me say very quickly, perhaps a lot of people don't understand the import and the implications of signing or not signing an imperfect document. For you to even, if the document is imperfect, and you can read it or interpret it anyhow, if count was removed when it should have been there, then you cannot even override an imperfect document. You have to first of all amend that document and start the process all over again and send it back to Mr. President. Mr. President has done well. The Constitution, if you study the Constitution very well, I believe it's Section 57, it does not oblige the President to give any reason for veto. All he has to do is return it and say, I'm not signing, I'm withholding my assent. He doesn't have to give you any reason. But every time he has done that, he has brought forward cogent, verifiable reasons why he is not signing. On this particular one, I believe the thrust and the spirit and the reason why Mr. President has refused to sign, which we identify with, is that every vote must count in Nigeria. We've been mouthing this thing, singing this thing for ages. This bill that was sent to Mr. President, and we raised it on the floor at the time of consideration, it says that you can only, the effect of it is that you can only accredit voters through the electronic system, okay? It forecloses manual registration. When you do that, we were all witness to what happened in the last election, when even the sitting president on channels, your station, could not be registered.
Accredited.
Could not be accredited, I'm sorry. So what Mr. President has done is to protect everybody in Nigeria. Yes, do your electronic accreditation, but make room for the possibility, and a very, very strong possibility too, where such would not work. It's something that happens every day. In the banks, jammers can even be brought in to jam the system. Millions will be disenfranchised, and we don't want that. You and I don't want that. That's a constitutional guarantee that everybody that resides in Nigeria has a right to vote and be voted for. It's in our constitution. So we cannot breach the constitution through an amendment. Now, let's talk about the protocol, ECOWAS protocol that everybody's talked about. It's very germane here. The question we need to ask is, what is the reason for that protocol? Why was that protocol put there?
So what's the position of the caucus right now as you people sat? What were the positions you took?
Well, very much with the issue, I think the National Assembly should perfect the document, send it back. Mr. President will sign it. There's no question about that. That's our position. Sure. A punctuation, a dot, a line can change the meaning of a provision in a law. Just a single comma can change the meaning and make it ambiguous. We don't want that. And but let's move on. I'm not going to address that.
What if PDP members insist? Do we expect a showdown or something?
No. Lawmaking is not about insisting. Lawmaking is about numbers. If they're able to muster 2/3 and they want to push it through, there's nothing we can do. But as a party, we're not going to be part of the you know, and you cannot also, like I said earlier, override an imperfect document. It makes no sense. You know, it's garbage in, garbage out. You cannot override an imperfect document. Okay, you have to make amendments to that imperfection before you and then start the process all over again.
This point you brought up is an issue that was not alluded to by the President, the issue of whether or not foreclosure or not having electronic, just only having electronic means of accreditation. Is that your or the...
When the President writes you a letter, more is less, or less is more, like they say. If the President was to allude to all the issues, he'll be sending you a 10-page letter.
Well, he didn't say any issue.
No. He said that it will create chaos, it will create confusion, it will create... Within those lines, you can read everything that I have said.
Okay, what about the time frame factor?
Huh?
The time frame.
What time frame?
Before the general election. Wouldn't it be too close to sign those
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to do a fire brigade approach to this like we do in Nigeria. If it's too close, that's the essence of the ECOWAS protocol. That's why I said, what is the reason for the ECOWAS protocol? So that people are not disenfranchised, people do not skew electoral laws months before, a couple of months before, to change the goalposts to suit you, whether it's the executive, whether it's the legislature, whether it's the one party, whether it's the other party, opposition. ECOWAS Parliament says that no, fair is fair. It's too late in the game to begin to tinker with the rules.
As the leader of the House, don't you take it as a failing on the part of the House that you have tried to work on an electoral document and each time you have failed according to the executive, and he has gone into even teaching you people how to draft bills?
No.
You don't take that as a failure?
I totally do not, and I'll tell you why. Go to even the most advanced democracies, whether it's US, whether it's Germany, whatever it is. They have a legal department. That legal department is staffed with the best of the best, from Harvard, from Princeton, from the rest of the, about 100 people are sitting in their legal department. It's not the lawmakers that do the final draft, okay? It's the legal department. Go to our legal department here. Perhaps you have personnel of 1 or 2 people. So the blame will fall on the legal department. Yes, it doesn't speak well of the National Assembly, but we have done our work in terms of the principles or whatever it is, any law we're trying to pass. It's for them to do the final, dot the I's and cross the T's, and that's what the legal department. But then again, when the National Assembly asks for more money to staff these people, to do this, to do that, we're met with a brick wall that no, you're getting too much money. So, it's a difficult scenario that we find ourselves. So it's not the National Assembly's fault. If I was to put the fault on anybody, I'll say it's our legal department and we need to do something about the legal department.
Does the APC have the numbers?
And let me just say this very quickly. And I think it behoves us as a party to defend the party when the party is being attacked unfairly and unjustly. I have heard legislators on both sides, the Senate and the House, talking about trader money being vote buying, and I shudder to think why any legislator or how any legislator would say that when it was the same legislative arm that gave approval and budgeted for trader money. You budget for something, and then you turn around. Then you have done a bad disservice to the country. You are indicting yourself. And trader money in different ways, you find in Brazil, you find in other countries, in other climes. So do we, as a country, say, okay, 3 months to elections, 4 months to elections, we're going to stop giving the vulnerable, the poor people, we'll stop taking care of them so that we are not seen as vote buying. No, I think we would need to, all these smoke mirrors, we need to look behind the screen and know that, this is just politics. And it's unfortunate that we play partisanship with people's lives. Oh, we have more than the numbers. We have